okay,
Alright,
if we
guys.
keep David, that's
I'm here
giving
back more
power
Final
to
Fantasy
Day and
VII.
Bay, which we don't want. Okay, well, what's the other option? Nicole Anthony.
Alright,
Janelle and Kaser.
I mean, where are we
But here's
going
the
now?
thing,
We're
she
still
hates
trying to leave
Janelle
the
and Kaser
sewers.
right now. Yes, they might mend fences, but they might also not mend fences. Maybe Nicole Anthony really is an option that we can consider at the very least. Now, if on
Guys,
top of
check it
that,
out.
Janelle
Seventh
and
Heaven's
Kaser
water tank has
realized-
something similar. I'm betting we can use this to control the sewage level.
Hey, Cloud. You want to give it a try?
This ought to drain the water. Right?
Okay.
that the votes aren't there and they stop campaigning for Nicole Anthony. In fact, if they just flip it around and say, okay, well, let's try to pull in David, and so they start campaigning for David, I think
No
that
luck?
if Janelle and Kaser
Must be busted.
campaign for
A red
David,
light indicates a
they will save
blockage,
Nicole Anthony.
apparently.
I think that's a distinct
We can use
possibility.
the hand pump to clear the blockage. Sounds about right. I remember having to do this at the bar before.
Alright. I'll...
Aerith, you mind giving me a hand? Cloud, you stay put. Keep an eye out for more red lights.
Wait, I'm not sure...
Trust me, this is the best way to handle it. We'll be back soon.
Okay. Yay, women power. Oh, yeah. Is it really just this? If it is, that's kind of dumb, isn't it?
Oh my god. Day and Bay are working with Janelle and Kaser, and they're pulling
So
in
maybe
David.
this is a little
We need to
different
take
from the
out
one at
David.
the bar.
Um,
More
Now, that has not
industrial?
happened, and it might not happen, but I think that if it did, it would save Nicole Anthony. Possibly. It's a possibility. Now, the biggest
Wait, what?
obstacle
I'm so
is
confused.
Tyler.
Alright.
And
Tilt
Tyler is very,
up
very pro
to open the
David, and
valve.
he will fight
Needle
tooth and
needs
nail
will
to
start
make sure that
from
David
the right
stays.
one.
Now, so if that happens, there could be a big, there could be
Oh,
a schism
okay.
in the Cody group with Tyler, because Tyler is not going to let David go lightly.
Think?
So,
I get it.
That's all possible.
Here goes.
It hasn't happened
Okay.
yet. It's just a
And then, yeah, we, like,
possibility
pump it.
that could happen, and I think more
And then-
likely than not, it will not happen.
Ah, fuck. Okay, that was just me being an idiot. I understand now.
Try to stay in sync.
This is really dumb, though. Again, this game just loves, like, putting in, like, mini games for, like, no fucking reason.
Spectacular!
So back to the Tyler and Christmas
Sure, they do it 3
conversation.
times.
He lets her know about all the whole day situation. She fills him in on Janelle and Kaser asking her to be
Ooh,
in
that's
alliance
gonna
with them.
tougher.
And they start brainstorming. Christmas is like, so
Keep
what are
calm.
we gonna name us?
All good.
And Tyler remains Christmas's closest ally. That she is telling him everything about her game, and she's not told anybody about
That
her
went
connection
well.
to Tyler, similar to David. They start brainstorming name ideas. She, again, she said, so I suggested this one to Memphis for the Memphis thing, but he just blew it off.
Ah, fuck.
What about the
That was quick.
incinerators? And
Could've gone
Tyler's like,
better.
oh yeah, great.
Okay.
Any other ideas? And so then she starts talking about the movie The Accountant.
Ah, fuck off.
And like, oh hey,
Try to stay in
yeah,
sync.
This gets easier each
the
time.
accountant. He's like, no, I don't think so. Then she goes into describing like the entire plot line of The Accountant. And
Ah,
he's just
fuck
like, oh,
off.
so cool the whole time.
Keep calm.
And it's like, okay, yeah, maybe we can name ourselves The Accountants. And then she starts talking. Then she starts explaining pipe hitters again, even though he was there the first
Fuck,
time.
I put that way too early.
Could've gone better.
There are these things. There's guys called
Here
pipe
goes.
hitters. They're so cool. They do the job that nobody else can do. And Beans gave up at that.
There we go.
All right, I think that did it.
Wonderful.
That was so necessary.
Let's head back. Cloud's probably getting worried.
There you go. And so...
Hey, Cloud's getting worried. He's fucking right there.
Have a conversation. Enzo asks Memphis who should go between
Alpha, he doesn't end up doing anything. So dumb.
Memphis says, I don't care, but we should get out wild cards, and David is more unpredictable. So I do care. And I want David to go.
I don't care, but I actually
Nicely done.
We make a great team.
Go team!
You asked for it.
So,
Deal with that.
I'm coming! Tagging out!
I got you. Finish him off.
Keep those gloves up.
Sure thing,
And
Coach.
she's been super anxious, and Day is trying to comfort her. And this is again
Fuck.
yes, Nicole has had bad rates in the house.
Oh, shit.
Yes, she has been snarky to the people
Try to
she
stay
thinks
behind.
overpower and betraying her. All of that was just last week.
Stay back!
And if you raised her last week, then you're interacting with her now on a personal level. Then,
Okay.
wrong with that.
I'll show you what I can... You can do it! One more shot!
Keep it up.
It makes me upset how many people respond to a tweet like, hey, let's be kind to somebody with no. She deserves this. She's going after Janelle. No, she's doing this wrong. No, she shouldn't have come back. I have no sympathy for her. No,
Sure,
she
it's nice
can't
to
play
go
the
up for a
victim.
change.
I don't
Hope the tailor's not much
you
further.
to be kind to somebody. For things that they do wrong, problematic behavior, you accountable even if you want to. Hold people
I'll take care of them.
Gambling is not great.
We'll make it quick.
What does it talk to somebody who's trying to play a game?
I think we're almost done. This one's for
Why
you!
is it so important for you to respond to a
Hang
tweet
back.
saying
I'll go
be
on ahead
kind
and secure the
to
exit.
make sure everybody knows? No, you should not be kind. We should try to break this person down. Like, I really don't like that.
Looks like they're hungry for more.
We're not delicious. Not even a little bit.
Get going.
No.
Okay.
100% cancel someone else.
You too.
But there's too many of them.
Not for me.
Like cyberbullying, harassing them, like
Last warning. Back off or die.
bring up things and we keep on harassing.
Okay, what's the point of this cutscene then? If we're not even gonna fight them or anything anyway.
I have like sympathy and empathy
Whatever.
for people.
Oh, that's it? That's it for chapter 10?
Bad things that happen on the feeds. Like, I'm with you. I was not a big fan of Jack and Jackson during EV21, but you don't see me like, like going to Christie's Facebook boutique and like leaving like fake 1-star reviews. It's because one, that like is like a waste of our time and energy. Instead of, if you actually care about activism, like go like actually like,
Chapter 11,
walk
Haunted.
the walk and talk the talk. Like, it's not about like cyberbullying someone on Twitter. It's about like
Did it say hunted or haunted? It said haunted, right?
Understood.
It would make more sense if it was hunted. It was haunted.
We ought to proceed as planned.
This is bullshit. What the hell are they thinking?
Threats to public order are to be summarily put down. This is what we've
look
always
at how
done.
like funny I can be, and look, I have like said some snarky tweets before, but I will never like go to the point of like sending death threats, for example, or like wishing like ill will or trying to get
Guess it's a
someone
little late
fired.
to
I
grow
do
a
think
conscience.
there is like sometimes we have to be able to look in the mirror and think, is this culture or is it cyberbullying culture? So please be nice to Nicole.
Yeah, and I do, again, want to reiterate that, like, I do also think it's important to hold
Just
people
on
accountable
patrol.
for their behavior and to point out when
Don't
people
worry,
do things
we'll
that are
make it in
wrong,
time.
like Jack and Jackson. But like, there's a difference between holding people accountable for, very, racially charged, discriminatory biases and behavior and stuff like that, and like somebody who came after your favorite in a game and was a little bit mean about it. And like you can even hold her accountable for that too, and say, hey, you shouldn't have been mean about it. But you can be kind as well. You can do it without just dunking on somebody and trying to.
How? Actually, we spent like what 4 chapters now just trying to return to Sector 7.
Something really important, which I think is another reason why we should be nice to Nicole. Katie Joy said that we need to like break her down about Nicole and like gay. And the reason why there's a big issue with just online hatred is that unfortunately the people who are the most
It's deserted.
like
And kinda
affected
creepy.
by like
People don't come around here often. Not just because of the monsters, but because of the stories.
What kind?
Everyone seems to think that the train graveyard is haunted. Those who lose their way out there in the dark of night will never, ever find their way back home again.
Is that right?
canceling tweets
I
are
mean,
often women.
it's not like I think it's true or anything. But you know, it's just...
Well, let's hurry.
I like 6 degrees.
That came up.
Every day can be extraordinary with VII Total Yogurt.
The Big Brother 22 live feeds, and of course tomorrow night will be the next.
Okay, this looks like.
Use cyber bullying them.
Alright, I just need to catch back up to where I was. Hold on.
Well, someone in the chat actually just said something really important, which I think is another reason why we should be nice to Nicole. Katie Joy said that we need to like affected by like
They're nothing.
Compared to us, at least.
Like the Kevin Nash, like the most marginalized minorities and identities who have the least amount of power are the least able to bounce back from like a big cancellation attempt. Like when, like, you know, for example, when George R.R. Martin has like been accused of cultural appropriation of Game of Thrones, and people try to cancel him. It's impossible to cancel him. People try to, like cancel like a Mark Zuckerberg. Yeah, it's really hard to cancel him, or like a Jeff Bezos, because if you have power, the people who are the most like, if you have power, you can't bounce back from like the actual like cancellation attempts. And I do think that we should like take pause and be kind and think about, okay, who am I actually affecting here? There is ultimately the person at the other end of the screen, and if that person is actually a woman, like or it's like a black person, like a am I also
That's that.
I'm being an activist, I'm holding people accountable, but I'm also attacking people who are the least able
I
to
think I
bounce
just
back
heard a
from
little
this.
kid.
Because
Did
that's
you guys
the
hear it
sad
too?
thing.
Why would there be kids out here this
People who
late?
should be the most
What?
cancelled are the ones of the most power to not give a fruit, so they'll just continue their bad behavior, and instead you're wasting your time cancelling more vulnerable people.
And look, like I am going to, like, if I talk to Nicole in an exit interview or in a postseason interview or whatever, like I will hold her accountable for the game moves that she did. I will say, like, why did you go after Janelle? She was not coming for you. Like, why did you think these things? But I will also make sure that, like, on a human level, I will try to make sure she's okay, and I will try to be kind to her. Like, that's all I'm asking here. It's not like we have to like say, oh no, you were fine, you were okay to go after Janelle. It's not what we have to say, you made all the right decisions in the game. That's not what being kind is. That's just excusing away anything. And so, like, being kind is just being kind. Just on a human to human level. Like, if somebody is struggling, it's okay to feel bad for that person and to want to be kind to them.
That's it!
I believe that bad people can do good things and good people can do bad things, which means that we can't judge someone based entirely upon like an action, right? Who are we to like say that I know everything about you now? I've been inside your head. I know every single.
This is really boring. Going through this area.
Like the Big Brother in reality.
Was this really part of the main game?
Get him!
be really dirty. What Taryn tried. It's like the Haley Ford rules. Don't be an asshole.
Yeah.
Don't be annoying. Don't be a widow. You'll be just fine. Haley Ford said it first.
All right. So I apologize for the digression, but I just
Don't
I had to say
apologize.
something.
I don't think you should apologize, Taryn. I
so
was
there's
really
20
in
minutes
touch
left of
when
this
you tweeted
podcast.
out, and I think it's an important message.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I hope everyone is listening or watching this for 3,000 whatever people. Just take a second, Important messages.
Yeah, we'll see. Yes, Tyler is going to talk with Enzo. He talks about the Danny and Day situation. Enzo says, yeah, they're sketchy, yo, but we got to keep them for numbers.
You okay?
And Enzo
okay.
says that,
I did.
only you and Cody are the only
Still
guys
in
that
one
little
piece
white
here,
people
too.
in this house, yo. We just need to play fake with them for now.
Guys?
And Tyler says he just has one more thing to ask Day to smooth it out, but then, it'll be fine. There was a
Come on, huh?
really funny
Well, that's
moment
inviting.
where so there's a bidet in the house.
Thank you, Queso.
Thank you, Kaser. And
All right, let's see what's inside.
Enzo did not know that there was a bidet in the house for a while. He has never used a bidet, and eventually he was like it's such a weird toilet seat, yo. Like I like that it's warming. And they're like, dude, it's a bidet.
Well, what do you
he's like,
think?
I'm game.
Ah, shit. I accidentally did it again. I'm not doing that.
but
when I
It'll be
sitting out with
fine.
the...
We've got a bodyguard, don't forget.
Head and shoulders have
Mine.
clinically proven to help stop leaks for 72
Right?
hours. That's enough time to learn the
Ghosts aren't my thing.
menu, which expires in broken name soon.
You're just being modest. After you.
Mind letting me go then?
This is dumb. Alright.
Dude, it's a bidet. He's like,
Oh.
what is a bidet? And so last night, I guess Enzo finally decided to give it a try, give it a good old college try.
Over there.
Then after Enzo was in there, Cody walks in, and he goes, "Oh, what is this on the toilet seat?
Found you.
What, did somebody go to the bathroom on the toilet seat? Like, what is
Hey,
going on here?"
Can we talk?
And
Just for a
Enzo's just
bit?
like, I don't know, yo, like it was just a little spritz. It's just a little spritz of water. He's like, what are you talking about? It's like, it was, the spritzing. It spritzes the water. And he's like, did you use the bidet? He was like, yeah, yo, like, I had to get off of it. It was hurting me. I didn't know it was gonna be so hot. It hurt, man. I had to get off.
I feel very attacked.
So we got up in midstream in the bidet, and Cody's like, oh my god, it's all over the floor!
For you.
It's on the door!
Yeah, it's like what Baylor Wilson said. It's a very sticky situation.
So I guess if anyone is like Enzo and they don't know how a
That thing's
bidet works,
dangerous.
it sprays water
I know, but
in an upward
even so.
direction. And so if there's not a body to receive the water, that water is going to spray all everywhere in the bathroom. And so Enzo decided that midstream, mid-bidet, it was too hot and it hurt. And so he needed to get up and the water got everywhere.
I'm very PG-13 about this. As a queer man, I was very offended. Very offended. I am offended, sir. Stop slandering the bidet. That fancy Japanese toilet
You
deserves
okay?
your respect, sir.
Oh man, there's too
proud
much.
you
There's too much.
saved us.
So Franzel talks with Kevin a bit. She talks about how Janelle is coming for her, and she thanks Kevin for telling her that Janelle is coming for her.
Gonna need
She
to
already
find
knows.
another way through.
Of
Of course we do.
talks to Cody, fills him in on the
Can't afford to lose
Danny
focus.
situation. Feels like
Day
Danny
of
was,
the day.
yes. Well, Day is dangerously close to that. And Tyler feels like Danny was trying to set him up. Tyler feels like not only did Danny not believe him, but he actually feels like, okay, maybe Danny was trying to set me up, as well as this. He says, Danny's done. Danny's done. And Cody says that, Cody's like, yeah, because people think that Janelle and Kaser are tight with Memphis, and so now, because of that, they're running to Janelle and Kaser thinking that they're in power, and that's what's happening with, like, Bay and Day, and even Danny is, like, is running around, so they're very, concerned about all of that, and Tyler's like, I mean, at this point, like, I'm just trying to low-key stay tight with Memphis, because, like, you know, we need, again, Memphis now getting away fairly clean. Even Tyler, who swore vengeance on Memphis, is like, I mean, I guess we gotta keep in good graces with Memphis for now.
Oh.
Yeah, Memphis is the day, kind of day.
Yes, he doesn't.
That's not
Yeah,
funny.
that's me.
Guess the crane's up there.
So Janelle talks with Kaser. Janelle talks about how much she hates Kevin, and Kaser takes the Nicole Anthony's position here. He said, "Hey, be nice, Janelle." Janelle proposes an alliance of her and Kaser. She says, "Okay, what if? Hear me out. What if we get 3 pairs in an alliance? Me
It's
and
not
you,
working.
Day
There's
and
no
Day,
power coming through.
Christmas and
I
Ian.
wonder if this is
What about
another
that?"
prank.
And he's
Someone
like,
might be
"You
messing with
think-
the power
you
supply
think
to
Ian
make us
would be
run
down?"
around.
Like, I don't think we can trust Ian. He's Dr. Franzel. Janelle's like, no, I think we can trust him. She said, but then even then, we don't have the votes. Because Day told me that she can't vote David out because of, like, what happened last season, and that, you know, he's a black man, and, like, damn it, like, she's like, I get their cause, but that's not game related. Like, I thought she was a smart player. It's so frustrating. Like, how are we supposed to play with that? And so, like, okay, so we don't have the votes if we don't have Day and Bay. So we need to convince Memphis to use the veto on Nicole and put up Kevin. And so that's going to be their game plan, because there's no way that they can get the votes to keep the vote.
Go on! One more shot!
Get ready.
I wanna like I don't know.
Take the lead.
I'm coming! Not bad. This one's for you! You'll see. Get him! Sorry, but I gotta. Keep up the pressure, okay? One more shot! There!
Thank God, punching a ghost.
Bring it!
Actually, is it not doing any damage? Right, it's not doing any damage.
Taking over. Deal with that.
So it's my turn? This one's for you! Go on! Ha! Ah!
Take a second, breathe, and realize that not everyone is in that house for the same motivations and reasons. Like, to go back to what Vanessa would say, everybody has their own reason, right?
Their own
They do
incentives.
what they think, and I think this is a small mystery on Janelle's part in that she's assuming that everybody else is thinking the way she does, kind of like how Memphis is assuming that everyone is the way he does. And I think one of the hallmarks
Do you
of a
think
great player
there's
like a Dan Giesling, for
more in
example,
here?
is that in maybe 10,
Looks like.
how did he deal with Rennie? He'll be
Aha!
like, I can't talk
Found
to
you.
Rennie the same way I talk to Keisha. Rennie is going to, you know,
Get him!
like April back against the gun.
One more shot!
That's not her motivation. That's not why she's here. And I just hope that Janelle and Memphis, they realize that you shouldn't assume that everybody thinks the same. That's what I have to say.
So they also talk about Cody, and they say, you know what, Cody is more
Where am I
dangerous than
going?
Tyler. He's too charismatic. He has Enzo. He has Franzel. Everyone loves Cody. And so even though I can't stand Franzel, Cody's more dangerous. And backdoor Cody next week if they are in power. So Cody is their new target for now.
For now.
Janelle then goes to Ian, and she goes up to Ian. This is very funny. She goes, she says,
I'm
hey,
pretty
can
sure
we
I
talk?
saw a door on the other side of
And
this
Ian goes,
place.
"Who,
I
me?"
think our only choice may be to find
It's
another
like,
route.
yeah, you. And so they go and they talk. She says, I feel like David might be staying. He's like, oh, okay. And she asks him about Franzel. He says, I like her. And she says, okay, well, where do you draw the line between like personal and game? It's like, oh, well, that's a deeply philosophical question.
You can't go here.
My relationship with Franzel is probably analogous to your relationship with Kaser. We're close. I mean, I'm willing to work with anybody, but I don't want to burn bridges like I did last time. So, yeah, I've hung out with her a few times. Like once a year or so. I feel like I have a good relationship with her. So, yeah, that's my answer. Is that all? It's like, well, how do you, would you, what is the situation? Could we maybe do something? It's like, I mean, I'm willing to work with you.
Let's go.
Absolutely. I don't want to, because I don't
Let us
willing to work with anybody else and she goes, okay, well, let me tell you something that I feel like is a six-person alliance. I feel like there's a big alliance. I feel like you're not in it. I think it's like Cody, Tyler, Enzo, Danny, Franzel, it's a bunch of those people. And I feel like you're not in it, so I don't know how you feel about that. And he's like, that's okay. Good to know. Thanks. It's like, well, okay, well, what do you think? Like, if Franzel were to go home, do you think we could work together then? It's like, yeah, I feel like, you know how this game works. There's a bunch of pairs in the house, and the pairs are probably going to be broken up. Like, your friend's going to be gone, and then people are going to have to start to work together outside of those pairs afterwards. So I feel like that would be a good opportunity for us to maybe work together in the future. But if you went after Franzel, I would not work with you. That would be bad. I would not recommend that you take Franzel out so that you can work with him.
I love your Ian impersonation. So true. SNL is way to send you an
There we go. Right.
Secondly, I feel like Ian is kind of like me, where he has the ability to say a lot while saying little. You're just like, oh. Like, if you actually, the people who are watching this live feed update, if you actually rewind and pay attention to that Ian conversation, he's able to basically fill up the airspace with enough, big words, analogous, and just give enough, game information so that he seems authentic and he seems, he's not,
where am I going?
in your face. But if you actually, pass through what he's saying, he's not giving you a lot, or he's straight up lying. He's very much obfuscating the relationship between him and Franzel. Him and Franzel are called the Million Club. That is not just, oh, I see her once, a year. That is, locked in final two. They are much closer, but kudos to Ian being able to, this is what he did in Fortunate as well. He's charming in how he comes off. He's one of those people where you kind of pull off the word salad robot way of talking, and it comes off as, I think, actually quite not
Okay, maybe not. Maybe we undid what we were doing.
very amicable.
Yeah, let's see, that's probably more
I can't
likely
help but root for Ian.
happening.
So Janelle goes back to Kaser and she fills him in. She says, he basically told me, you better not go after Nicole Franzel or that's it. Kaser's like, well, we can't work with him. So we don't have the votes. We just need to win HOH and target Cody. No targeting floaters this time. That's what we did last. We won 4 HOHs in All Stars. We targeted floaters and it screwed us over. We're not doing that. We're going straight for the head. We're going for Cody. So Kaser goes and talks to Day, and she tells him again, I can't vote out David, but David will work with us. And Kaser says, I don't think he'll work with us. I think he's with Tyler and Cody. And she says, I as a black woman cannot vote out a black man. That just, I can't do that. So Kaser says, okay, but will that ever change in the game? And she says, maybe when we make jury. And it's like, well, I don't know if we're gonna make jury. And he says, okay, I get it, but I need to know.
Oh fuck, I didn't see that.
separate
There's
that
fucking
from the game?
stairs here.
And Day essentially says I won't have to because David is with us. Like, you're wrong about David, he's with us, so I don't have to separate that from Gabe.
Honestly, I think Day has a bit of an incorrect read of that. I think she's underestimating how close David and Tyler are.
We could always run away, right? Stay back! Go on!
Anything is possible. Like, be patient. Don't like push Dave on too much.
How much left there?
Like,
4 minutes?
let
5 minutes?
The cards fall in the May and like get a Vanessa Audrey situation.
And here's where I feel like things could change, is that if Day manages to convince Janelle and Kaser, I've got David, we don't need to worry about it. And
I'm assuming we're about
Kaser
to get
and
into
Janelle
a
are
boss
finally
battle.
convinced, okay, if Day and May have David and David is with us, then we should be campaigning for David. That's where that tricky situation might come in, where if they give up on Nicole and start campaigning for David, the other side might start thinking, oh my god, Day and Bay are with Janelle and Kaser, and they're trying to pull in David. Maybe we need to switch things up, and that could be a little weird. Enzo and Tyler
No,
talk
actually,
about the vote.
no, let's just end.
And
That's
again,
fine,
the biggest
yeah.
obstacle to that happening is Tyler. Tyler
That's
is
what
still
we'll continue
campaigning
on.
for David. He says, if Memphis wants to keep Nicole, that's a surefire sign that his loyalties are more with Janelle and Kaser.
For now.
Because she's obviously with Janelle and Kaser,
This is
and
good.
we need to keep David.
Thank you for watching.
So they're worried about Bay